Okay. Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Hello, everybody, and welcome to it. Good morning if you're joining us from the west coast of North America, or good evening if you're tuning in from Australia or New Zealand for today's STIHL Timbersports French Pro Championship. Today, we have a whack of very excellent STIHL Timbersports athletes on stage competing for that top spot on the podium to see who will represent France at the individual World Championships. It's going to be an exciting day. My name is Troy Mannering. I'm going to be your host for the next 2.5 to 3 hours as we go through a full 6-pack of events and disciplines here today, and we're going to show you exactly how it's going to run down. A couple of important individuals that we need to focus on here today will be our judging crew, and I believe they're going to bring them up onto the stage here any second now. Of course, always present at these events is going to be our head judge, Bart Janssen, who looks like we're going to bring out our athletes first. So that does not look like Loïc Vincent coming on the stage. So my list is a little bit incorrect, as we'll bring up our athletes up on the stage here first and get the introductions, and then we'll bring our judging staff onto stage. There we see Loïc standing on the sidelines with the rest of the crew. Seems like there's a little bit of confusion happening for our French athletes. That was perhaps a rookie introduction briefly there. Like his hat, though. All right, here we go. So now coming up on the stage, Loïc Vincent, one of those young guys that is the future of STIHL Timbersports for France. He has been on the rise for the last few years. Maybe this weekend will be his weekend. We'll find out as the day progresses. Next up will be Christophe Trincaz. So changed his hat. Went from the cowboy style to the baseball style. Christophe Trincaz. Nope. It is going to be Romuald Puck. And he's going to stick with the cowboy hat today. Next, coming up on the stage, Anthony Prieur. All right, next up will be Pierre-Louis Poisson. Pierre-Louis, one of the bigger boys out there. He's a ton of power. He's been around the sport for a while. He's also been working on that beard for a little bit as well. Looking very much the mountain man here, so keep a close eye on him today. Next up, Elie Pageant. Elie, one of the veteran timber sports athletes in France. Next up, we have Julien Maya. No relation to Braden Meyer from Australia, but he can also hit the axe well. Let's see how Julien fares today on stage. 12 fantastic athletes here vying for that top spot on the podium. And this is one of those guys that's really going to be focusing on getting back under the top of that podium. Alexandre Maurice. He's represented France at the individual worlds. He's also been very close to winning the event here and having it taken away from him by Pierre. We'll see Pierre a bit later on here. Another very, very strong contender, Cyril Marchal. He's been French champion in the past. He would like to have it again. Coming up onto stage. and he'll be vying for his spot on the top of the podium today as well. Next up, Dominique Fuchs. All right, now coming up, one of the young guys, Adrien Courteau. A potentially very strong contender. We saw him in the rookies, and now we're seeing him among the pros. So now going to be introduced is one of the long-term winners of the French pros. He has been a perennial champion, only losing out on a couple of occasions to Alexander Maurice, and that is Pierre Puybaret, an exceptionally strong competitor. You have to keep a close eye on him. He knows exactly what he needs to do on stage in order to win this event and maintain stable and consistent performances throughout the day. He is among three, I would say, very, very high potential favorites here. Pierre Puybaret, Cyril Marchal, Alexander Maurice, and of course Loïc Vincent, who has been charging up the ranks. And now we're going to introduce our judges for today. Two very important gentlemen who will come up onto stage now. First one is Bart Janssen, followed by Radu Kasaku. They will be maintaining order on stage as they come up and keeping a close eye on all of the things that are happening on that stage to make sure that we have a fair and well-run competition. So there we see Bart Janssen, and behind him Radu Kazaku. And of course our competition control center will be operated today by Naud von Leer. He'll be keeping a close eye on the action. And there you see our studio, our competition control center. So Naud von Leer keeping a close eye on the timing and all the cameras that we have there. And we are going to jump into the action very quickly. Our first discipline coming up is going to be the underhand chop. So let's take a quick look at the tool and discipline we'll be seeing as we start this competition off. The STIHL Timbersports individual competition. In the first round, all athletes compete in 3 disciplines: the underhand chop, the stock saw, and the standing block chop. The times achieved will be converted into points upon completion of each discipline. In round 1, a difference of 1 point applies in each discipline. Thus, the fastest athlete receives 12 points and the slowest only 1 point. Any rule infraction will result in a disqualification, and the athlete will receive 0 points for that discipline. At the end of the first round, the athletes with the lowest scores are eliminated. Only 8 athletes make it to the second round. In this second round, the remaining athletes compete in the single buck and the springboard for increased scores. With 2 points difference between placings, the fastest athlete now receives 16 points and the slowest receives 2. The 2 athletes with the lowest total points are eliminated at the end of round 2. Only the top 6 reach the third round. In the third round, anything is still possible in the hot saw, as an increased score interval of 3 points applies in this final round. The fastest athlete can score up to 18 points at the hot saw, the slowest only 3 points. The athlete who manages Sorry, folks, I was so excited to get this competition started. I forgot to tell you about the competition format. That's what we just saw there. So 3 rounds, and we'll whittle down to 6 athletes for round 3, and it's going to get exciting as we go through this entire competition, eliminating the lower seeded athletes as we move. So now let's really get to our STIHL Timbersports tool and discipline here for the underhand chop. The axes used in timber sports definitely can't be bought at your local hardware store.
Still no timing. Made from special steel, the blade is hand sanded with an angle of 13 to 16 degrees. It's custom built and carefully adjusted for each competition. The weight is around 3 kilos and it's about 80 centimeters long. The blade is so sharp that you could shave with it. Underhand chop. In the past, the underhand chop technique was used to split logs. Standing on a horizontally anchored block, the athletes cut through a 32 centimeter log. The block has to be worked from both sides.
All right, so here we have our list for the underhand chop, and there you see heats 1 through 6, so all 12 athletes participating in this first round and the first heat. Loïc Vincent and Pierre Puybaret will be finishing it off just after Alexander Maurice and Pierre Poisseau. So there is our stage. We are ready to go. Reiko, the stage manager, making sure that everything is in order. And Romuald Puck will be going up against Dominic Fuchs here. You could see by the tail of the tape, Romuald at age 31 has a slight advantage with a faster underhand chop personal best. But you can't count out those guys with some experience. They can come back and surprise you as we get set up for our first heat in our opening discipline here in France. All right.
Okay. Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Nice even start by both athletes as they get into that block. Puck is chipping out nicely. He's got some very big parts coming off of that block, but Fuchs doing a very good job to keep up with him, who will switch to that second side. Really nice first side there by Puck, as he should switch over fairly quickly here. Yes, he does. He's one driver ahead of Fuchs on the other side, and he's chopping well here. That axe is really working. Oh, a step down, though. It's going to cause a little bit of a slowdown. And on that second side, both these guys starting to get tired. You can see the frequency of the drivers is slowing down a bit. Puck getting a couple of those sticky axes in there, and that's going to cause a problem. And it looks like Fuchs is playing a good game of catch-up, but it's going to be a PB 42-23 for Puck. And Fuchs is a 45-11, so 2 personal bests right out of the gate. Nice way to start the competition here. And our first underhand chop, and the wood is on the deck.
Okay. Those cuts are good.
You can see here some nice big chips coming off of these blocks for both of these guys, really hitting well. The scarf at the side, that line where the axe travels down through and into the wood, very, very clean for both these guys, not very steppy, so you could see the accuracy for both gentlemen was quite good. There's a little bit of a steppy block there, but he got through and has a nice clean cut. All right, heat number 2 coming up between Anthony Prieur and Christophe Trinca. Pretty closely matched up pairing here. Age difference, size difference, sure, but the speed, not that far off from each other. So we may see a very, very close heat between these two guys. Anthony, definitely the bigger of the two men. That could be a power advantage, and if he's chosen the right axe, he'll be cutting clean and chipping out nicely. Let's see how Christophe does against Anthony.
Okay. Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Quick start by Anthony Prieur as he got into that block. He's got good pace there as well and chipping out very, very nicely. Good clean scarfs on that one side as I think he's going to switch fairly quickly. Oh, but it was actually Christophe Trinca that was over there before Anthony Prieur, and he got into that second side quick, and it looks like he might even be increasing the pace on that second side. Will we see a personal best by Christoph? We will indeed. 26.75, cutting well today. And that is 4 personal bests right off the hop for all 4 athletes that have done this first set of cuts. Very, very nice. That wood is cutting well. And these guys have made some good axe choices so far. Very, very nice start to the competition here today in France.
Okay. Those cuts are good.
So slight adjustments, the official times improving ever so slightly, and look how close those were. Really, really nice heat between these two guys, and right away you can see some nice chips flying off that block. Good clean cuts on those first drivers into the block by both gentlemen, and it was a quick transition onto that other side by Christophe Pierre. Yeah, very, very nice as these guys, great job. Couple of personal bests in that second heat as well. And we always love to see those personal bests go away because that means one of two things. We've got great wood, good athletes, or a mix of both, which is always nice to see on stage. So it'll take a couple of minutes to put a new set of blocks in the stands, and we'll get our next 2 heats out onto the deck. And as you saw, 2 really good heats, 4 personal bests right away out of the gate. Love to see that. Something that our audience out there may want to keep a close eye on are some of the possible DQs that we may see. So the guys are standing on some flat sections of the board or of that block in order to give them good purchase so that they can drive that axe into the block safely. What they want to try and avoid doing is cutting into that foothold, so we may well see it. It's unlikely with the pros because they're so well trained and well practiced at this discipline that we won't see probably that happen. But sometimes when the excitement mounts and the adrenaline is rushing, maybe somebody will hop to the other side and a quick hit into that block and a foothold. So keep an eye on that as well. The other thing that we want to keep an eye on is what we saw in that first heat, stepping down off the block. You have to make sure that foot comes back up onto the top of that block before you drive the axe in again. If you drive that axe in while your foot is not secure on top of the block or it's on the ground, that is grounds for, and no pun intended, grounds for a DQ. Now the important thing here is to not get a DQ if you have a slower time. It is what it is, but a DQ means 0 points, and you don't want to go out of the discipline with 0 points. You're not going to lose the event in the first discipline, but it's not going to help you if you walk away with 0 points there. So far, as we look here, leading our underhand chop at the moment is Christophe Trinquat with a 26.45, and as I mentioned, personal besting these first 4 guys out on the blocks. Really, really nice to see, and that tells you a lot about how the wood is cutting today. So looking forward to seeing this next heat between one of the granddaddy caddies, Cyril Marchal, going up against Julien Mayer in heat number 3, ready to go.
Okay. Athletes, ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Good start by Julien Mayer and Christophe Marchal. Christophe just a hair faster on the start than Julien Mayer, but still within the timing, I believe. And he's going for pace as much as he is for accuracy. Switches to the other side very quickly, and Julien Mayer on the other side of his block, about 2 drivers behind Cyril Marchal. Cyril looking for more drivers inside the time as possible here. Julien Mayer looking for the accuracy and the timing. Foot down, but he's got it back up. And another personal best. There we go. Julien Mayer with a 29.91. He wasn't quick with the axe, but he was accurate with the drivers. So really nice clean cut by him. He sits in 3rd place right now with that time, and he's got himself a personal best. Cyril, not a personal best for him, but he is in 4th place right now in the underhand chop standings.
Those cuts are good.
So times are now locked in and official. Holding on to that top spot is still Christophe Trinquat, but really nice cuts here by both Julien and Cyril. You can see Cyril going for more frequency in the drivers, but Julien's cuts, the scarf there, really, really nice and clean, and that was the difference maker here. Good final driver there by Cyril, but just a hair behind Julien Marchand. Julien Mayer, excuse me. Okay, next heat coming up, Elie Pageant up against Adrien Cortot. And again, a couple of times, personal bests that are very, very close to each other. And the way the wood's been cutting today, I would not be at all surprised to see either one of if not both of these guys knock down personal bests. Right now, the time to beat, 26.45.
Okay, athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Right into it, Elie Pageant and Adrien Cortot, both of them with pace on the block, really hitting frequently into that block. They should go over to the other side, and there's that hop I was talking about. Elie Pageant onto that second side, hopping over, but Adrien Cortot quicker into that second side, and he is chipping out nicely. We may see good times here for both of them. Cortot coming close to it, and he is through in a PB. Will Elie Pageant be able to do it? He's gotten a bit of a sticky part there, maybe some tight wood, and it's not going to happen for him here today as he's struggling to get through on that second side with a narrow cut in with a 36.89. And he had some tight wood in there. Elie Pageant slower than he would have liked, but a very, very nice time from Adrien Cortot, and he has taken over the top spot with a 25.27. Very good.
Hey, both cuts are good.
All right, going for pace instead of accuracy. You can see those steps in the block here, but the frequency of the drivers coming into the block was quick for both of these guys. On that second side, a little bit of tight wood for Elie Pageant, and boy, what a great run by Adrien Cortot, though. 25.27 official time and a personal best. He's going to be happy about that, sitting atop the list right now. Worst case for him right now is he'll have 5th in the underhand chop, because we still do have 2 more heats with 4 guys that are absolutely fantastic at the underhand chop discipline. As we see, we have a nice crowd on hand here, and they're enjoying the beautiful weather in France today for this STIHL Timbersports French Pro Final 2026. And again, if you're just joining us, we are just about to the last 2 heats for our underhand chop, and today is about deciding who will represent France at the individual World Championships in October of this year. On the 30th and 31st, we'll celebrate Halloween and the 100th anniversary of STIHL in Stuttgart this year. It's going to be a massive party. We hope if you haven't already secured tickets for the event, you still can. I do believe there are some available still, but it is going to be a great time. We will be broadcasting that one live as well, so we hope you'll join us one way or the other for that big event at the end of our STIHL Timbersports season for the individual World Championships, and see who will take the title. It's going to be some exciting times. So right now, as we are in our first discipline of the day, and that discipline determines the overall standings, currently it is Adrien Cortot atop the leaderboard with the fastest cut on the underhand chop. But the deck is ready for heat number 5, and coming out in that one will be Alexandre Maurice. He will go up against Pierre-Louis Poisson. Now, Alexandre builds his own axes, and he grinds them and sharpens them, but he also builds a lot of the axes for many of our pro athletes around the world, in fact. And he has some of the most beautiful axes, and he is excellent in this discipline. So keep an eye on him, and you can see from his personal best, if he can come even close to that, he should take over that top spot. He has represented France in the past, and it's been a real battle between him and Pierre Puybaret the last few years to see who will represent and who will stay home, as it were. Pierre-Louis Poisson, a mountain of a man, and he has all the power, but he needs to make sure that power is directed properly and he doesn't get that axe stuck in the wood. Here we go. Heat number 5.
3, 2, 1, go!
Keep a close eye on the pace of Alexandre Maurice as well. You can see the frequency of his drivers is quite quick, but Pierre Puybaret, he is doing quite the same thing. Oh, but there's that stickiness I was talking about. And Alexandre onto that other side quickly. Couple of sticky pieces of chips just hanging out there. But Alex looking very good. We're not going to see a personal best from Alex Maurice today, but it should be a quick time. And he is through in 25.92, just a hair slower than Adrien Cortot. And Pierre-Louis Poisson is through in 34.25. So no personal best for him today either, as his time has him currently sitting in 7th in the rankings. But Alex Maurice with a very, very solid cut, sitting in 2nd behind Adrien Cortot.
Hey, both cuts are good.
All right, so very, very quick heat there. You can see Pierre-Louis Poisson, his driver's huge and heavy. Meanwhile, Alexandre Maurice going for pace. On that second side, his axe didn't get stuck, but we did see that a couple of those chips were hanging on for dear life, and they can sometimes get in the way of those drivers. And the final hit for Pierre-Louis Poisson as the stage crew finishes cleaning up, and we will get ready for our next heat and the final one today in the underhand chop, and that is Loïc Voinson going up against Pierre Puybaret. And you could see Pierre holding the national record of blistering 16.79 seconds. Loïc has his work cut out for him, but if I know anything about Loïc Voinson, he has been training hard, and we may well see a personal best from Loïc today, as this young man, as I said off the top of the show, is the future of timber sports in France. And there you see Pierre Puybaret, 9-time national champion. Unbelievable record. Here we go.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Getting right into it, and Loïc Voinson keeping good pace with Pierre Puybaret. Both gentlemen shipping out nicely on that first side. Loïc Voinson half a driver ahead of Pierre Puybaret on that second side. We may see a good time from both of these. It's not going to be a personal best for Pierre Puybaret, but Loïc Voinson may well get himself a personal best. Puybaret with the fastest time of the day, a 19.98, and a PB for Loïc Voinson, 23.47. Great improvement for the young man. Nice to see him up there. So Pierre Puybaret, he has the top spot in the underhand. Loïc Voinson slips into 2nd place with a great time. Adrien Cortot and Alexandre Maurice 3 and 4, and Christophe Trinquart in position 5. Wow, what a heat.
Hey, both cuts are good.
So great job by Loïc Voinson. I told you he was training. He got in there real quick, chipping out super nicely. And look how clean those cuts are for Loïc and Pierre. Pierre there on the other side, Loïc Voinson. So beautiful heat right there. The last two guys coming out and really proving it's a fantastic run. Pierre Puybaret with the fastest time of the day. So he'll take the full 12 points from this discipline and move on to the next one as we take a look at the underhand chop results. And there you see Puybaret atop the leaderboard with Loïc Voinson right behind him. Adrien Cortot with a personal best as well in 3rd place. Alexandre Maurice, the underhand chop specialist, sitting in 4th place, and Christophe Trinquart in 5th place. So that is the top 5, and that is how our ranking will stand right now for the overall as well, as this is the first discipline out of the gate. So now when we move into our next discipline, the stock saw, we'll see these rankings start to change around a little bit. We'll get that on stage here shortly, but before we get on to stage, let's take a look at the tool and discipline for stock saw.
The STIHL MS661CM stock saw is used in STIHL Timbersports as the ultimate test of operator skill. Designed for the toughest jobs in forestry, it produces approximately 7.3 horsepower, has a displacement of 91.1 cc, and weighs 7.4 kilograms. To ensure evenly and fairly matched saws, professional steel technicians prepare and test the saws before each competition. Stock saw. After the starting shot, the contestants have to cut 2 wooden discs, so-called cookies, within a 10-centimeter mark. 1 downward and 1 upward. The attempt is only valid when both discs have been cut off completely and within the marks.
Okay, stock saw lineup, and again 6 heats, and Romuald Puck will start things off going up against Cyril Marchal here. Again, Julien Mayer, Adrien Corteau against each other in heat number 5. Heat 6 will be Elie Pageant against Loïc Voisin. This is an interesting one because this isn't about your power or how hard you can push the saw down. It's about knowing the machine, feeling the vibrations and hearing the motor, knowing when to push harder and when to ease up. And the harder you push, sometimes that could cause the saw to actually slow down a little bit. So these guys really have to have good operational tendencies with the saws in hand. You can see right now as Romuald does a little bit of marking on his block. Those are the guidelines that these guys use to get their first cut in and help them with the transition to the upcut at the bottom. And that transition is also quite key because that is going to determine how much wood is outside the saw for the upcut and whether or not their transition was a swing in all the way to the line or if they had a nice clean transition. We'll keep a close eye on the styles of each of these guys as they cut using this stock saw. No adaptations to the chain or the motor here. It's the same saw you buy in your local dealer. Here we go.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Cyril Marchal with a fantastic pickup. Oh, paper thin for Romuald Puck. Good transition for him as well, but Cyril Marchal is having a clean cut, and he's got himself an 11.44. Romuald Puck with a 12.15. 2 good cookies on the deck. Looks like everything is complete, so we should have clean cuts here.
Hey, those cuts are good.
All right, it's official. Both cuts are good. No DQs, no cut lines. 2 good cookies on the deck, and that's all that they need to do. Simple, right? Yeah, not really. Good start into the block here by Cyril Marchal. That first piece was a little bit thicker, but look how paper thin that was for Romuald. Absolutely fantastic. His targeting was on point. Nice sized cookie on the upcut. Little bit too much pull, slowed him down a bit. Still a good time as we get set for stock saw heat number 2 between Anthony Prieur and Dominique Fuchs. Dominique Fuchs, quite adept with the stock saw in hand. We'll see how well he cuts today against Anthony. And again, these guys aren't eliminating each other. It's about getting the fastest time possible to try and get the most points out of each discipline. And once again, 12 points is the highest possible amount that you can get in the discipline right now, with 1 point being the lowest. Block needs to be remarked there by Radu Kazaku. And you can see 10 centimeters. It's not a lot of space, especially when you consider that you're dealing with a piece of machinery that has a piston moving inside there that can also make the saw jiggle and wiggle a little bit. But these are very nice light saws used frequently in forestry and always dependable.
Warm up your saws. Athletes, ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Good start. Anthony Prieur with a nice thin cookie. Got to be careful coming to the bottom of that. Wow! What a transition by Prieur. That was fantastic. Barely swung at all. He's got a 10.84 PB. Fuchs struggled on the upcut a little bit. Not his strongest cut today with a 13.79. And the question is, did he cut over the line on that second cookie? Because he had a bit of an angle on the upcut, but it looks like he might be safe.
Okay? Both cuts are good.
Fantastic transition by Anthony Pierre, though. I want to see that one again, and hopefully they'll give us that slow-mo at the bottom of his cut. Really, really beautiful. Here's quite a thick cookie by Dominic Fuchs on that first cut. Doesn't leave him a lot of room to transition on the upcut. And he struggled to find it as well, so he had to really, really be careful. And you can see that first cookie by Anthony was very thin. Thin to win, as they say, and definitely a clean cut. But the transition for me was the fantastic part by Anthony Pierre. Okay, next heat coming up, Christophe Trinquart against Pierre-Louis Poisson. I was kind of hoping we would see the cowboy hat during one of these heats on Christophe. Maybe we still will.
Hey, warm up your souls.
Pierre-Louis Poisson giving the saw a quick shake and bake as he gets it warmed up. All right, both saws in the pads and ready for start of competition here.
Ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Christophe Trinquart, really nice start. Also a very thin cookie. Pierre-Louis Poisson with a great thin cookie as well. Massive transition by Trinquart, so he's got to be careful. Poisson looking like he's got a good upcut. Did Trinquart come close to the line? Did he cut over the line? That was a huge fat chocolate chip cookie he dropped there. Bart Janssen looking very, very close. Give us a quick nod. There's a thumbs up. So it's a good cut, but man, did he come close to that line.
Okay? Those cuts are good.
Good times. Christophe Trinquart and Pierre-Louis Poisson, just both of them at the 12-second and change mark. Here's Pierre-Louis Poisson. Enters without hesitation at all. Transition swing by Trinquart, however, pretty massive. Poisson struggling to find that upcut line, wanting to make sure he doesn't go over it. You can see the red line that he put in helping him on that guide, but getting in at the bottom was where he had a bit of a problem. And look how fat that cookie is for Trinquart. Holy smokes, folks. That came close. All right, a couple of guys that are real good in this discipline, as you can see from their personal best times. Both of them just past the 9-second mark. World record still held by the Netherlands' Redmer Knol. And even Redmer was surprised by that world record, as this is not a discipline that he particularly likes, but he'll take it. All right, Alexander Maurice locking himself in. Pierre Puybaret knows exactly what needs to be done here. He is fantastic in all disciplines. He's such a big man, he makes that saw look like a toy in his hands. It's amazing.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Wow, good even start by both these guys. What a pair of competitors here. Two cookies on the deck at almost the same time. Alexander Maurice looking like he's going to have the faster cut, 11.08 and 11.69. How evenly matched up are they? Personal best of 9 and change, and right now no personal best for them, but so close together in their timing. What does that tell you? Both of them are great, and the wood is cutting dead even, so that's fair wood right there, folks.
Both cuts are good.
All right, so Anthony Pierre Still holding on to that top spot with a 10.65. Alexander Maurice with a 10.94, though, slips into second place. Pierre Puybaret is in fourth place with an 11.44 official time in this one. You could see Alexandra leaning that saw on his leg and pushing in for that upcut, not wanting to pull too hard, but keeping a nice steady pressure. All right, next up we have Julien Maya and Adrien Cortot. Again, a couple of guys quick with the saw in hand. All right, last two heats. Then we'll check the overall standings after we get the stock saw results and see how things switch around, if at all. Julien Maya, Adrien Cortot. Julien Maya on the left-hand side of the stage wearing those green pants. Adrien Cortot on the right-hand side of our stage in stand number 2.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Quick pull by Adrien Cortot. Julien Maya, he got up there pretty quick as well. Transitions, both guys fantastic. But it's Adrien Cortot with a quick time of 11.17. He slips himself in there. Let's see, that puts him at the moment in second place. Oh, they've made an adjustment. And that is going to be the second fastest time with a 10.85 by the looks of it. Let's see what the final call is here.
Hey, those shots are good.
Yes, a 10.85. Julien Maya with an 11.71. So Julien sitting in sixth place at the moment. Adrien Cortot slipping into second place with a nice clean cut at just over 10 seconds. Yeah, there was no hesitation by him at all as he got into there. Julien Maya. And then a clean finish. A little bit of a heavy pull on that upcut by Julien, but nevertheless, he's got himself a sixth place time. And our final heat here in stock saw, Elie Pageant going up against Loïc Voisin. Loïc, whew, young man, keep an eye on that time, 8.93. I don't think we're going to see it today because the wood's been cutting a bit tight for these stock saws. But if he can get even close to that time, he might get that top spot here and give himself a chance to move up in the overall rankings.
Okay. Warm up your saws. Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Ooh, good start by both these guys. Both of them got into it very, very quickly. Thin cookies to start. Ooh, Elie Pageant coming very close to the line there. That could be a DQ. It's going to be close. And Loïc Voisin with an 11.13. Elie Pageant with an 11.22. But I don't know. He may have cut the line there.
Hey, those shots are good.
Whoa! A relief breath from Elie Pageant as he came real close on that upcut, cutting that second cookie monster style. Super fat, but here, really nice start. Both these guys had good thin cookies to start. Pretty average size there, but close to the side by Loïc Voisin. And watch this transition here by Elie Pageant. Oh, Just the tip of that bar comes ever so close to that blue line, but Bart Janssen gave it a super close look and determined that it was an okay cut. This is a really nice clean cut there from Loïc Voisin, who is sitting in 4th place in the stock saw results. Anthony Pierre atop that ranking with a personal best, the only one in stock saw today. So let's see how that affects the overall ranking here. So overall ranking will come up shortly, and we should see Adrien Corteau move to the top of that ranking with a super solid 11 points in this discipline. And he does indeed. Loïc Voisin slips into 2nd place. Alex Maurice in 3rd. Anthony Pierre in 4th. And Pierre Puybaret, he's still in the mix in 5th place, but he's got to have a really good standing block chop. And apropos standing block chop, that is our next discipline coming up. The guys will be getting the stage ready for our 3rd and final discipline in round number 1. And it all comes down to this discipline. And so far, we haven't seen any DQs in the first 2 disciplines. So that bodes well for everybody that's competing here. And the standing block chop is an opportunity to pad your score before we eliminate the bottom 4 athletes from the competition after standing block and round 1. So standing block coming up next, and that is going to complete round 1. And here, as I said, it's a chance for all these guys to try and add some points, and it's a very important discipline for those guys that are a little bit down in the ranking that maybe be chopping specialists. So let's see how that pans out. The stage is coming close to being ready, so let's take a quick look at the discipline standing block chop.
Standing block chop. At the standing block chop, the felling of a tree with an axe is simulated. A vertically positioned wooden block with a diameter of 30 centimeters has to be cut through both sides. A powerful and precise swing with the axe is the premise of a good result.
Okay, so there's our standing block chop lineup, our 3rd discipline in round 1, and this will close out round 1. Romad Puck going up against Dominic Fuchs, Christophe Trincat against Elie Pageant, Anthony Pierre against Julien Mayer, Cyril Marchal against Adrien Corteau, Alexander Maurice against Pierre, Louis Poisson. Alexander strong in this discipline, and Loïc Voisin against Pierre Puybaret. Loïc and Pierre both very, very strong in this discipline as well. We very often see Loïc Voisin picking up that last discipline in the team competition with Pierre Puybaret either on single saw or underhand chop. It's going to be interesting to see how this rounds things out for the first round. At the moment, Dominic Fuchs, Romad Puck, Pierre-Louis Poisson, and Elie Pageant are on the bubble. Those bottom 4 guys really need to pick up the pace in this discipline and make sure they have very, very good standing cuts in order to gain some points and be among the top 8 athletes that will move on to round number 2 and the single buck and springboard disciplines. And as is traditional from the rule book, the athletes are responsible for setting their blocks in the stand, so that's what we see them doing right now. They'll be assigned blocks through a lottery, so it's not like the staff here at STIHL Timbersports are just handing these guys their blocks that they have to cut. They choose a lottery system or a lottery number, and that is the block number that they receive for the competition. That is the same throughout the chopping and cutting disciplines, with the exception of the single buck and the stock saw. And of course, if you make it to that top 6 at the end, the hot saw. All right, heat number 1, Romad Puck And he is actually the one that's been wearing the cowboy hat throughout the day, or not throughout the day, but at the introduction of our guys. And Dominic Fuchs here. Their personal bests, a little bit off the national record of 18.59, but you never know what could happen up on stage. Somebody could have an exceptionally good run. And this is, of course, all personal best prior to the entire training season of these guys getting out there and competing in various regional events and local events, but this is where they can really use that adrenaline to their advantage. And the wood's been chopping well today. The underhand chop, we saw almost everybody get personal best, so we may well see some personal best fall by the wayside here in standing block. Here we go. First heat in standing.
3, 2, 1, go!
So both guys getting into that block, chipping out nicely. Dominic Fuchs. Oh yeah, some big drivers going in there for Dominic. Little steppy, but it's Romuald onto that second side. He's actually increasing the pace on that second side, if you could believe it. And looks like we may see a personal best time for Romuald if he can drop that block. But he's got a couple of sticky ones on some extra wood that's holding on for dear life. It may not happen for him. Let's see. Oh, he's really trying to get through that block. He's pushing hard. Meanwhile, Fuchs has got it done. He's got a personal best for himself. Romuald Puck trying to find his way through that line, and he's done it, but it's not going to be a personal best. He took too much time, didn't cut away enough wood. He probably could have gone for a couple more upcuts to try and clear away some of that material that he was struggling to get through. But we do have a personal best by Dominic Fuchs, and at the moment, his time is the time to beat.
Okay. Those cuts are good.
That was an unfortunate last little run for Romuald Puck. He was so quick on that first side. He had, I think it was an 8-hit first side, switched over to that second side. He went one up, one down, and just continued on that pace to that second side. But here, you can see he's trying to break through that block, but he had just too much material. One or two more change cuts for him, and he could have gotten through there. That just, you could see that a little bit of extra stuff there made a huge difference. So, yeah, that slowed his time down significantly. All right, heat number 2, Christophe Trinquart up against Elie Pageant. You see the guys, they bring 2 axes out onto the stage. We have seen it happen in past. In fact, it happened to one athlete. His axe handle broke, and he had to change his axe quickly to be able to continue the competition. So that's the reason why 2 axes, folks.
3, 2, 1, go!
Quick start by Elie Pageant. I hope that wasn't too ahead of the gun. Yeah, the Competition Control Center will keep a close eye on that one. Meanwhile, Christophe Trinquart onto the other side of his block quickly. I won't call that a shortcut, but hopefully he doesn't make that same mistake that we saw Romuald Puck do earlier on, as Elie Pageant is looking like he's coming close to it, and Christophe Trinquart also there. Oh, nice personal best, 27.01 by Christophe Trinquart, and Elie Pageant struggling as he's left a little bit too much wood there, and a 35.80. He shortcut that first side, in my opinion, and tried too hard to get through with drivers, down drivers on that second side. It took too long for him there. Nevertheless, he's got himself a decent time of 35.50. That puts him in second place, but Christophe Trinquart with a very, very nice cut, and the time to beat of 26.80. We'll take a look back here at the start, and both cuts are good, so my call on Elie Pageant getting in there a bit too fast was obviously totally wrong. Yeah, a couple of sticky axes there for Elie Pageant as he switched to that second side, maybe trying to find a little bit of looser wood on that second side. You could see he had a lot of material still left on that first side, so left himself a bit too much to try and cut through with those big power drivers on the second side. Something that we're looking forward to that's coming up very soon this month is going to be, or rather in September, is going to be the European Trophy. The trophy format is so fantastic. It is exciting. We see 4 disciplines happen in very quick succession, and we're going to take a look at the European Trophy and what that's all about coming up in just a couple weeks' time. Maybe.
Welcome to the STIHL TIMBERSPORTS European Trophy. That is a clear message to the rest of the field. Round of 16, here I am, I'm the man to beat. Oh, wow. That's what I promised you. Oh, that was fantastic to watch. What a great competition. Yes.
All right, so the European Trophy coming up on the 13th of September. That is a lot of fun. The trophy format is something super, super exciting. They go from one discipline straight to the next and back and forth to the front of the stage. It is madness on wheels, and we hope you will tune in. It's going to be live on YouTube on the 13th of September. Do join us because the best European athletes are going to be competing in the European Trophy. But before we get to that, we have a couple more heats to go here in standing block chop at our French Pro Championship. The blocks are ready for our next 2 heats. Heat number 3 coming up, we have Anthony Pierre up against Julien Meyer.
Hey, athletes, ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
All right, both these guys getting into it. Julien Meyer, a little bit of a sticky axe there, but now he's finally getting those chips away from the block. Meanwhile, Anthony Pierre going at it with pace and elan to try and get to that other side quickly, and he does do. I think that was not a shortcut on the first side, but he got around there pretty quickly. Julien Meyer went a bit deeper on that first side. That may help him out on that second side as the fatigue starts to set in. And oh, there's a good time by Anthony Pierre. A personal best, 26.16, and a PB for Julien Meyer, 29.55. Lovely, lovely cuts by both of these guys.
Okay. Those cuts are good.
And you could see the pace that Anthony Pierre put in there. Really, really fast drivers, quick hits into the block. Julien Meyer. There's those first couple of drivers, left a couple of chips in there. And as I said, you know, it sometimes can get in the way. And then Anthony Pierre onto that second side very, very quickly with a very nice time. And by the way, folks, that is the fastest time of the day so far. And Julien Meyer sitting in 3rd place in the standing block chop. Moving on to heat number 4 between Cyril Marchal and Adrien Courteau. Both gentlemen with plenty of competition experience. Cyril Marchal has been around many, many years.
Okay. Athletes, ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Cyril Marchal won the French Cup in 2021, and he's getting into it pace. Both of these guys pacing each other very quickly here, in fact. Onto that second side, almost dead even with each other. Cyril Marchal really pushing off that back leg. Left himself a lot in front, though. And oh, a great time by Courteau. Adrien Courteau with the fastest time by a bullet. About 6 seconds faster than Cyril Marchal, who sits there in second place after that cut with a 24.16. Adrien Courteau with an 18.89. Beautiful PB right there for him.
Okay, those cuts are good.
So both of these guys, really quick pace. That was, a very sticky axe by Cyril as he tried to come around that other side. Didn't go very deep on the first side, and I think that's the reason why he was a little bit slower on that second side. But nevertheless, a quick enough cut. And Adrien Courteau at the moment in the lead of the standing block chop, with Cyril Marchal in the second position and Anthony Pierre sitting in third place at the moment. Now, what I was mentioning earlier on is these guys are all competing for that top spot on the podium so they can be considered for the European ranking to be able to compete at the World Championships, the individual World Championships that's coming up later on in the year in October, on the 31st of October in Stuttgart, Germany, where we will celebrate a whole bunch of stuff. In fact, we'll celebrate Halloween, unimportant at this point. We'll celebrate the 100th anniversary of STIHL, and that is going to be a fantastic party, and we know that STIHL is going to be taking out all the stops here for that event in Stuttgart, but as well, we are going to be celebrating what may well be a new champion atop the leaderboard in STIHL Timbersports at that World Championships. Let's take a look at what we can expect at the individual World Championships coming up in October. Okay, we're not going to have a look at that. Sorry, no teaser for you today. Maybe a little bit later on, because it really is fantastic. And the excitement and vibe at those events is really, really outstanding. Okay, heat number 5, Alex Maurice and Pierre-Louis Poisson.
Okay, athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Okay, those cuts are good.
Of the pack right now, 6 with a 27.50. And so far we've seen 6 personal bests go by the wayside. Look at the start here by both these guys. Pierre-Louis Poisson going for those huge power drivers, and Alex Maurice trying to get pace on there. And that obviously worked. There's a lot of material on that first side by Pierre-Louis Poisson, so that really slowed him down coming through that second side. Great scarf there. Nice lines by Alex Maurice. Very, very good cuts. And our final heat here coming up in round 1, and our standing block chop, Loïc Voisson up against Pierre Puybaret. National records held by that man right there, Pierre Puybaret, 18.59. Coincidentally, his personal best. Interesting that his national record and his personal best don't look exactly the same, though. 18.59 and 18.29. Maybe that is a graphic problem, no idea, but he is the holder of the national record. All right, here we go. Final heat in round one.
Ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Ooh, a bit of a sticky one there by Loic Vincent as he got it loose fairly quickly though, but all that time slows everything down really quick. First side by both Pierre and Loic Vincent. Loic's looks a little bit cleaner on that first side, so he may well be faster through this than Pierre, but Pierre has a ton of power. And oh my God, how close was that? And Loic Vincent just a hair faster than Puybaret, and he gets himself a personal best. Great heat. Man, they pushed each other right to the wire. Fantastic.
Okay. Those cuts are good.
So Loic Vincent, a personal best, knowing he was on stage with one of the best, Pierre Puybaret. Pierre Puybaret with a 19.38. Loic Vincent with a 19.16. A really, really nice time. Puts Loic Vincent in third place in the standing block chop results. And Pierre Puybaret just behind him in fourth. Alex Maurice with an absolutely blistering 18.29 and a new national record holds the top spot. But this was really the heat of the day between these two guys, just pushing each other every single driver. Great run by Loic. And it was just a little bit extra material on the front of Puybaret's block that probably slowed him down some. And he is sitting in fourth place as a result. So standing block chop results, Alex Maurice, as I mentioned, national record 18.29. Not far behind Adrien Corteau there with an 18.89 personal best, and Loic Vincent with a 19.16 personal best. So the top 3 points there. And that is going to change things around in the overall standings ever so slightly. Let's see what it does. So overall standings, some changes here. Let's see. Yeah, Alex Maurice, we should move into second place. Loic slips down. Pierre Puybaret moves up to fourth place with Anthony Prieur moving down a spot. Adrien Corteau stays in the top spot. So right now, he is the man to beat, and we will lose 4 athletes. Elie Pagin, Pierre-Louis Poisson, Romuald Puck, and Dominic Fuchs are all eliminated from competition as we complete round 1 and we step into round number 2. And our first discipline in round number 2 will be the single buck. And hopefully we can take a quick look at the tool and discipline for the misery whip, as it's well known around the timber sports world.
The 2-meter-long cross-cut saw used for the single buck discipline is made especially for competition. A series of consistently patterned 10-centimeter-long teeth are cut with a laser on one side of the saw and then hand-sharpened. Saw teeth are divided into 2 types, cutters and rakers, just like on the old-school saws. The saw weighs about 5 kilos and its base price starts at around 1,500 euros. Single buck. The single buck is a one-man saw about 2 meters long. With this, the athletes have to cut off a complete disc of a 46-centimeter thick wooden block. The perfect interplay between rhythm and strength is the key to success.
Okay, so we have 8 athletes remaining in competition, and after the next round, we'll eliminate 2 more. In the meantime, Julien Mayer will go up against Christophe Trinquart, Cyril Marchal against Anthony Prieur, Pierre Puybaret against Loïc Voisin, and Alex Maurice against Adrien Cortot. Keep a close eye on Pierre Puybaret and Loïc Voisin. These two guys are single saw specialists, and we should see good quick heats from them. Julien Mayer also very quick with the single saw. 16.26 seconds is his fastest time. World record, by the way, Ben Cumberland from Canada owns that, 10.47 seconds, and the season's best at 10.68. So some blisteringly fast times, and it's what they say is if it's chopping well, it may not saw well. Let's see if that holds true here as we get ready to go in the single buck. Look at those cutters and rakers, and how nicely that saw moves into the wood. And you can see Julien Mayer using a level to make sure that that saw is exactly in line the way that he wants to go down through that cut. That's not a dumb idea, actually. Julien Mayer using that level to make sure that everything is straight, because if you do set that saw at an angle and you start cutting towards the outside of the block, you may have a problem at the bottom. Okay, here we go. First heat in round 2 in the single saw.
2, 1, go!
Very nice start by Julien Mayer, using the entire length of that saw on the short wood at the top and getting into the lower middle part of the block. He's got a nice clean flow going. He's keeping the action moving with that saw. Christophe Trinquart is looking quick, though. He's gotten fast through the middle of that cut, and he's going to have a fast cut. Oh, he got stuck at the bottom, and it caused him a problem with the time. Julien Mayer with a 19.82 and Christophe Trinquart with a 21.90. It looked like he was going to be fast towards the bottom, and he just got an angle change and hooked up at the bottom, and that slowed him down, taking away about 1.5 to 2 seconds with a possible time here.
Okay, both cuts are good.
So we have our first heat in the books for single buck. Julien Mayer with a 19.64. That's the time to beat in our competition so far. This is actually a really fast cut by Christophe Trinquart, and I think he was quicker through the mid part of the cut, but right here at the bottom of his cut, his angle changed, he hooked up, and he got slowed down, and that took off about 2 seconds of his time. Or added on, rather, I should say. Okay, next heat, Cyril Marchal up against Anthony Prieur. Couple guys that are pretty evenly matched up based on the tail of the tape here. Radu Kasaku, one final adjustment for Anthony Prieur as he'll set his saw and get ready to race. Cyril Marchal on the other side of the stage is pacing out his position. Years of experience, and he knows where he likes to be and wants to be, and you can see it's all very practiced for these guys.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
So Cyril Marchal starting off with short cuts at the top in that short wood. Meanwhile, Anthony Prieur going for the long cuts right away. You can see the pace that they're keeping has a good efficient cut, but Cyril Marchal quick through the middle there, and it looks like we may have a good fast time for both of these guys. It's going to be a nice personal best for Cyril Marchal. with a 17.90 and Anthony Pierre with a 19.79. Cyril takes over the top spot, and Anthony Pierre will actually slip into second place after adjustment from the Competition Control Center with a 19.40. Very, very nice.
Okay, those cuts are good.
So a couple of different styles as far as the start is concerned, and we see Anthony Pierre here. He goes for the full length use of that saw right off the bat. And Cyril Marchal, he went for shorter cuts in the short wood at the top, but then started going tip to knuckles through the entire length of the saw, through the middle, and at the bottom he went back to those short cuts, and it worked well for him. So two different styles, and both are effective. Okay, this one should be good. Both these guys pretty solid in the single saw. Pierre Puybaret holding the national record of an 11.58. Loïc Voisin considerably slower for his personal best, but I bet you dollars to donuts Loïc is going to come into this on fire and drop a PB. That would be my hope anyway. I want to see the young man do well here today, and at the moment he's currently sitting in second place in the overall rankings, or rather third place, just behind Alex Maurice. So a good cut here could mean maybe the top spot. Let's see. Trouble is for Loïc, as he knows that Pierre Puybaret is on the other side of the stage. If you call that trouble, that could be one of those situations of playing up where Loïc says, okay, I got to keep up.
To your timber.
Let's hope so. Let's see.
3, 2, 1, go.
Very nice start by Loïc Voisin. Is looking good for him. Pierre Puybaret using the entire length of that saw. Those rakers and cutters are doing exactly what they need to do as he's getting to the bottom of that cut. Oh, he got a little hooked up though. But it's a 15.38, a good time, and Loïc is definitely going to drop a personal best here. Oh! He took off a rather large chunk at the bottom of that cut. Hopefully that doesn't cause him problems, and it's actually a 20 and change as he got to the bottom of that one. And it's going to be a personal best as they make an adjustment. It's a 19.67, so good to see that personal best go away.
Okay, those cuts are good.
And yeah, a little bit of relief there for Loïc as well, because we saw that big chunk break off at the bottom of his cut, but luckily it broke off to the inside and not to the outside. Really nice start though by Loïc, and it was good to see this cut come through clean for him. Pierre Puybaret, of course, with the fastest time of the day, a 15.17. And there you see, better to break off that way than the other way and have a tab left there. All right, heat number 4, the last heat in single buck. Alex Maurice up against Adrien Cortot. And so far, 3 personal bests in the single saw. Cyril Marchal, Anthony Pierre, and Loïc Voisin. Loïc currently sitting in 5th place in the single saw, so that is going to be a problem for his overall rankings. It's not going to affect him massively, but we won't see him climbing up the ranks. In fact, we might see him drop down a little bit, and there you see the mesh socks that these guys are required to wear, and the spike shoes that are being used by Alex Maurice. And the spike shoes, despite having a grip tape deck, the spike shoes will provide that added extra little bit of grip that some of these guys really like to have. And interestingly enough, both Alex and Adrien are the only ones that we've seen wearing these spike shoes in the competition so far today. Alex, the future's so bright, he's got to wear shades. Adrien Courteau ready to go. Wow, that looks like some tight wood at the top of that block right there as Alexander Maurice sets his saw. And you can see he's got a little bit of the business close to the stand, so hopefully that won't cause him problems. You can see a dark spot right there and not where a branch used to be. It's well away from where he's cutting, but nevertheless that might extend into the wood a little bit more. So let's see what happens here at the top of this cut for Alex.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Oh, good clean start by both Alex and Adrien. Alex looking good as he's gotten into that wood, nice and clean. Adrien Courteau picking up the pace as he gets into the thick part, the middle sec. But Alex Maurice looking very good as he gets to the bottom of that cut with an 18.23. That puts him in third place at the moment. Adrien Courteau with a nice cut. Unfortunately, that's a 21.56. That is the slowest time so far today among the 8 athletes that competed in the single saw. Pierre Puybaret with the fastest, Cyril Marchal, then Alex Maurice, 1, 2, 3. And we'll see where the overall standings go with Loïc Poisson in 6th place in this discipline. All right, so clearly no problems for Alex at the top of that cut, and that wasn't really factoring at all. Adrien Courteau with a 21.56, so the slowest of the guys, and I say slow in comparison to, but those are some really, really fast times with respect to, STIHL Timbersports in general. All right, let's take a look here at the single buck results. Pierre Puybaret, of course, fastest time, 15.17. Then a couple of 17s and change for Cyril Marchal and Alex Maurice. Then a couple of 19s and change. 3, in fact, with Pierre Puybaret and Voisson. Surprisingly to see these guys in the 4, 5, 6 positions. Christophe Trinca and Adrien Courteau in the bottom 2 spots there. Let's see how that affects our overall standings. Should mean that Pierre Puybaret moves into the top spot from 4th, so it should be a fairly significant jump for him. No, in fact, he stays there. Excuse me. Alex Maurice holds on to that 2nd position. Loïc Poisson holds on to his 3rd position. And Pierre, Courteau, Marchal, Maya, and Trinca bring up the remaining 4 positions down in the bottom of the rankings. So the top 3 spots, or rather the top 2 spots, tied for 43. Then we have tied for 36 in 3 and 4, and tied for 34 in 5 and 6. Wow, these are going to be some close heats as we get set to go on to our springboard, and we see our 2 French colleagues in studio on site there. So next up is the springboard. Now, the springboard, a lot of people call the hot saw the maker or the breaker. For me personally, the springboard is the one that really decides who's going to make it into the top 6, because after the springboard, we're only going to take 6 of the 8 athletes into that final and big discipline, the hot saw at the end. Now, the springboard is a very, very finicky discipline. You have to be quick, accurate, powerful, and brave. There's a lot going on here. We'll take a look shortly at the springboard discipline, but one thing I can say is, like I said, for me, this really is the maker or breaker, because this is going to be a deciding factor for those guys that may be on the bubble of being eliminated, perhaps getting into that spot where they need to be among the top 6. And for some of the guys that are at the top, if they're not having a good springboard day, it could mean that they drop down the rankings a little bit. So keep a close eye on those positions 3, 4, 5 and 6 in particular, to see how the springboard works and how well these guys do. In the meantime, maybe we could take a quick look at the tools and discipline for springboard, and if not, maybe we'll have a clip for you with our World Championship teaser. One or the other is coming your way, hopefully. Okay, so we have a little bit of a delay before we can pull up a clip here. And like I said, the springboard is a very interesting one. I call it finicky like a cat because it can really bite you in the butt. And if you're not really on point with your springboard, yeah. The other thing you have to worry about too is you're holding an axe that's competition shaving sharp at top on that top board about 2 meters off the ground. That means if something goes pear-shaped and you fall down, it is a deadly situation that we want to really try and avoid. But these guys are professionals, and so we're going to take a look at the wood these guys are working on right now. And premium competition wood, let's have a look at that and see what they're working with.
STIHL Timbersports is an international extreme sports competition series featuring 6 disciplines: 3 chopping and 3 sawing. We have a premier competition, we need premier wood. The biggest challenges that I face as part of my role is to ensure that our competitions are supplied with the highest quality wood.
Each individual tree is examined for its conformation before processing. We need to make it fair for all athletes. So we are selecting different sections of the trees to use for each of our specific disciplines.
Once the trees are felled, extracted and transported to our facilities, we measure, mark and then cut the wood into sized blocks. We then peel the blocks ready for competition. After careful selection, the blocks then leave our yard and are distributed internationally to our STIHL Timbersports competitions.
So again, this is the wood that the guys are using, and as it is premium competition wood, and we've seen today, it is cutting very, very fair, which is exactly what we want to see. We've seen some great chopping discipline, personal best fall by the wayside. We've seen a couple of the sawing disciplines have personal best, but not quite as much as we saw in the underhand chop, where of the 12 athletes that competed, I think 10 or 8 of them had personal best. So, I mean, really, really good wood that these guys have been using, and it just gets better and better. And I'm really looking forward to the World Championships at the end of the season, because that wood should be primed by the time we get to the World Championships, and we're seeing all the very best in the world come out onto that stage and cut and chop and saw. It is going to be a lot of fun. In the meantime, I believe we are pretty close to being ready on stage for our first 2 heats in the springboard discipline. And on that note, maybe, hopefully, we can take a look at the discipline springboard, which is essentially standing block chop atop a 2 meter long. No, in fact, we're going to take a look at our sustainable wood management first before springboard. Here we go.
We as STIHL Timbersports pride ourselves that all wood is sustainably grown, harvested and recycled to minimise the overall amount of wood processed. Firstly, this poplar wood is grown on certified plantations. Secondly, the white pine for our sawing disciplines is only sourced from certified forest management. After all our STIHL competitions, all the spent wood is collected and recycled right down to the wood chips and sawdust, which, for example, is converted into renewable energy in the form of wood pellets for biomass. We quest to find certified partners. This ensures that all newly planted trees are nurtured and managed, promoting maximum efficiency and sustainability for the future conservation of our valuable forests.
Therefore, as you can see, with good harvesting practices and good management with silviculture, the ground is quickly replaced by new trees, or could even be used for arable for farmers and future rotations.
Okay, so we do have a few more bits and pieces to get taken care of before we get to our springboard clip, and perhaps we can take a look at the upcoming schedule, because there is still a lot of action in this season before the end of our season, and maybe we can get that up on screen and take a look at some of the upcoming live streams that will be available for you out there. Then we'll get into some more competition action. As I said, this is the second discipline in round 2, the last discipline in round 2 coming up, and that is the springboard, our finicky discipline and my personal maker or breaker, before we get to the hot saw and our final discipline of the day. And again, 6 disciplines in total in the individual competition, and we are on discipline number 5, round number 2 here today. So, do we have perhaps a schedule of upcoming live streams? We could show that. That would be good, so that the people out there know what we've got happening. We're just waiting on the stage to be ready for springboard. Okay, so maybe we get the World Championship coming up. It'll take a look at the vibe and what we can expect to see at the World Championship, which is on the 30th and the 31st of October. On the 30th, we'll have the team competition, and then the all-important individual competition on the 31st. And a little bit later on, we'll maybe get into the European rankings to see who of our European family will be able to compete at the World Championships later on this year. But in the meantime, let's take a look at the World Championship teaser. Okay, still waiting for the teaser to come up, and there we go.
What a beautiful city.
I have never been in front of this big crowd.
There was going to be 6,500 people in Porsche Arena.
I think everybody's going to be on their game.
Definitely my favorite arena.
Probably going to be unlike anything I've been competing in front of before.
STIHL, we're known for a wide range of power tools, including chainsaws, grass trimmers, leaf blowers and pressure washers.
Christina?
Did you know that we've made battery-powered toy versions of these tools for kids too? Our battery-powered toy chainsaw is the baby sibling of the MS500i and is just as exciting for kids. Flick the switch and you'll see the green on light appear. Then give the cord a pull and the chainsaw will start idling, ready for action. Pull the trigger and you're ready to get to work. The chainsaw has a rubber chain that actually moves, plus it comes with an owner's manual, mini toolkit and a spare chain. And best of all, the volume can be adjusted on the chainsaw too, which might be a popular feature amongst parents. Next is the battery-powered toy grass trimmer, perfect for kids who enjoy the outdoors. Just like its full-sized counterpart, the FSA57, it comes with its own removable battery, which can be charged up so the grass trimmer is ready to go. The toy grass trimmer is height adjustable, and the handle can also be adjusted to the right angle. To use the grass trimmer, simply click the battery into the back of the tool, push the safety lock forward, pull the trigger and away you go. The cutting blade is made from a soft, rubbery material which lights up during use, so kids can pretend to cut the grass while the parents do the work. Then there's the battery-powered toy leaf blower. It comes with a removable battery just like the BGA57 and has an adjustable blower tube too. To use the leaf blower, click the battery into the back of the tool, push the safety lock forward, pull the trigger, and away you go. This toy even has a light blowing force, so your kids can help out with the leaf clearing too. And finally, there's the battery-powered toy pressure washer. It has a 2.4 litre water tank, a 2 metre long hose, and comes with a removable battery to power the pressure washer. To use it, fill the tank with water, then choose which nozzle you want to use, either the standard nozzle or fan jet nozzle, and clip it into the lance. Insert the removable battery, hit the power button on the right hand side, and then you're ready to go. The full range of our STIHL Kids toys is available at your nearest STIHL approved dealer or at shop.stihl.co.uk.
Okay, so you could see on stage there's a beehive of activity as the athletes get set and set their blocks atop the tree for the springboard. That's what they generally refer to it as, is called the tree. Maybe what we can do is get a quick view of the stage for a little bit longer and give you a breakdown of how this will work before we actually go to the clip, and then a little bit later on we'll jump into some of the atmosphere stuff that we're going to be seeing later on at the World Championships, and onwards to the yeah, here we go, the atmosphere clip. This was great. Oh my goodness.
On the standing block, who is it going to be? Is it going to be Australia or New Zealand? Oh my God, how close is this? And it's Australia!
The atmosphere last night in the team's relay was unreal.
That is their title of Team World Champion 2 years in a row.
Oh, definitely. It'd be the noisiest crowd I've competed against.
Shane Jordan's already over there.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of getting goosebumps thinking about it right now.
The crowds here, they were just erupting.
You feel the energy of the crowd.
My goodness, what a great comeback from Belgium with a time of 1.
The crowd was absolutely electric.
And it was so much noise and support.
Ja, doch, das pusht schon rum. Mein Fanclub ist auch da.
Very passionate about their country and, yeah, the competitors.
Yeah, it feels super.
Oh my goodness, look at this.
It's pretty awesome to compete in front of a crowd like this.
But he's not giving up. He's looking good.
Like such an adrenaline rush. It's an amazing feeling.
Make a lot of noise, and that's good for our spirit.
It's going to be the Czech Republic, and the crowd goes bananas.
It's absolutely extreme here. Man hört's.
All right, so these transitions for the tree are painfully long. We're very sorry, folks, but we had some great clips to show you there, some interesting stuff for the kids. Make sure you check out your local STIHL dealership, and some of those toys are a lot of fun. I remember the saw was a favorite of my bike. Okay, in the meantime, let's get on to it. Now we have our stands ready to go, and we'll take a look at the tool and discipline for springboard.
Springboard. Springboard simulates the traditional way of felling trees, climbing up over thick roots. First, notches known as pockets are chopped into the log. 2 springboards are then anchored into these pockets. The athlete then climbs up to chop through a 27-centimeter thick block of wood in the fastest time possible.
Okay, so we are into it now, and our first set of heats are ready to go. Julien Maya against Christophe Trinquart, and Cyril Marchal against Anthony Prieur. Then we'll have Pierre Puybaret against Loïc Voinson, and Alex Maurice against Adrien Corteau. First heat, Julien Maya, Christophe Trinquart, and you're about to see why exactly they call this discipline difficult, to say the least. Again, setting the pocket as quickly as possible, getting that first board in. Setting the second pocket as quickly as possible, getting that second board in. Boards, they need to be stable. They need to be solidly in there so they don't slip out or sag. So many things happen here. Watch this.
Ready. Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
6-hit pocket for Julien Meyer there. Board looks good as he gets into place and starts to work on his second pocket. Christophe Trinquart trying to find that hook and get his tooth in position. And this is where problems start to occur for the guys. The longer they take to set their pockets and do house cleaning there, the more time it's going to take to cut on that top block. They have a time limit as well for safety. We see Julien Meyer already up on top of his board, although it is sagging a little bit and he's going to have to be careful. And now that it's sagging some, he's not feeling super confident on the outside, so it looks like he's going to come back down and reset that pocket. And again, killing the time as they near the minute mark here. Christophe Trinquart now setting that second board. That second board for Christophe is looking very nice, though. And that's going to give him an opportunity to get working on the top. Now you can see that back foot by Christophe is all the way back at the end of the board. He's up a little high, so that means he needs to bend over to get the drivers into the block. But because he's got a good board, because he's got that back foot all the way back, he can apply more power into those drivers. They have to get through there in 2 minutes and 30 seconds. That's the time limit. Julien Meyer, he is on that top block now and starting to work the cut, but his board is sagging a bit, and you can see he's moved his body forward closer to the main tree, and that means he's not cutting using his hips and driving off that back leg. He's shoulder cutting, and that's going to be very slow. First of all, it's not efficient, and it's very tiring. Christophe Trinquart getting out to the 2 minute mark now, as the time is running away on these guys, but Christophe Trinquart is almost through, and he's moving on to that awkward angle on that second side, so we should see him get through there and get a time in the books here. He's got to do it in under 15 seconds. He should be able to manage it, and you can see the fatigue, and he's done it. 2:16.92 for Christophe Trinquart, just about at the wire, and it's going to be a problem for Julien Meyer because he's not even close here, and you can see he's choked up on the axe, and that is going to be our first DQ of the day for time limit exceeded. That is unfortunate for Julien Meyer, and a problem because that is no points. And ladies and gentlemen, you can see exactly why this is one of the most difficult disciplines to participate in. So many things have to go exactly right. And to be quite honest with you, so much training needs to go into this as well.
Okay, we have a disqualification at this hand because it's a limit of time. And however, this one is a good cut.
All right, so unfortunately for Julien Meyer, he is our first DQ of the day. And we can see here, the first board was quick. He had a 6-hit pocket. He got up there and started setting his second pocket. When he got up on that second board, though, he tested it gingerly, and you could see it was sagging, and he decided to reset the pocket. That killed his time. Meanwhile, Christophe Trinquart, he had a good board. The angle was a little bit high, and that means that he had to bend over to cut a little bit. Wasn't super efficient, but he got a time in the books. And now we move on to our next heat between Cyril Marchal and Anthony Prière. Okay, last minute adjustments on stage here. Raiko will give the thumbs up, and Dan Janssen One of our key components on the stage crew has done final checks on the stands to make sure everything is secure. And moving one of those stability stanchions into the correct spot for our next athlete. Cyril Marchal getting ready here, along with Anthony Prieur. Cyril has the better personal best time. Let's see how Anthony's been training this one.
Athletes, ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Four-hit pocket by Cyril Marchal. Very, very good. Gets the board in. Oh, it's a bit saggy. He's got to be careful here. Yep. That one was a bit too fast. Meanwhile, Anthony Prieur, he has a good first board and starting to set that pocket on the second board. I think he had about 6-7 cuts to get that first board in place. And now he's about the same on that second board. So the time is looking quite good for Anthony Prieur. Cyril Marchal finally has that first board in place and trying to set that second pocket. And this is a great board by Anthony Prieur as he is ready to go on that top block and starting that standing up top above 2 meters. And you can see his back foot not quite all the way back to the board, but the board looks good. And it's just setting into place now. Taking good purchase using that metal tooth at the front. And now Cyril Marchal clambers up onto his second board. It'll set nicely as well as he starts working on that top block. But it seems like neither one of these guys is feeling 100% confident in their boards up top there, as Cyril Marchal is depending on some serious shoulder cutting. And wow, what a great time by Anthony Prieur, cutting almost a minute off of his time with a personal best. Fantastic run for him, and that is going to be the time to beat right now. Cyril Marchal struggling to get through that first side. He wants to go nice and deep, but he's shoulder cutting big time as he stepped forward and choked up a bit on that block. He'll switch to that second side fairly soon, but it is not going to be a time that he wants. And as he is closing in on the 2-minute mark, he really needs to be wary of where that time is going here. He should make it as he's gone deep on that first side, still cutting clean, and he'll switch to that awkward angle on that second side now and try and get through there in under that 2-minute 30 mark here, but it's going to be tight as he may have left himself a little bit too much material as he's starting to angle cut as well. And boy, Cyril Marchal really struggling here. Should do it in 3 more drivers. Let's hope so. Oh, one more is going to do it there. Oh, it's hanging on by a thread. 2:16.03 for Cyril Marchal. Troublesome for him, but he's got a time in the books. But right now, Anthony Prieur with the time to beat. Very, very nice run from Anthony Prieur. That was really, really nice to see because his previous time was 2:03.35. And this new time, 1:09.87. Fantastic improvement by him.
Hey, close, very good.
All right, although Anthony Prieur took a little bit more time setting his pockets, he had solid boards, and you see here Cyril Marchal was quick on that first pocket, 6-hit pocket, but the board just wasn't there. So he spent a lot of time housekeeping there on that bottom to get himself up onto that first board, and from there the confidence just sort of disappeared on him. Anthony Prieur really, really motivated. Obviously he has been training this, making sure that he is really, really on point. Looking great here. And on that second side, really nice final drivers there by Anthony. And a nice time. All right, so heat 1 and 2 are done and dusted in the springboard. We've got 2 more heats to come. In the meantime, they're doing a block change on stage in France, so we'll hopefully get that done quickly. And as I said earlier on, the athletes are responsible for the block change at the top, so we might get a glimpse of them putting in that block and setting their set screws and their security screws in there. Now, we talked a little bit about what's coming up at the end of the season in October. We have the World Championships. We have the individual World Championships. on the 31st of October. But we also have the Team World Championships coming up on the 30th of October. Now, the Team World Championships is interesting, and we're going to take a look at Team USA, one of the strongest teams.
What makes our team special this year is just the camaraderie.
Get together with the team, focus our efforts, and bond as a team.
We're not going to try to work on getting better. Like, we already are as good as we are.
Team USA is getting a little bit older.
You take that to heart and learn from it. They've done it.
Just trying to be as consistent as possible.
We've worked hard as a team to do what it takes to make up that one swing.
There is no margin for error on those, and they're doing it as quickly as humanly possible.
You know, Australia is so hard to beat. It's really because they're the strong wood choppers.
Baby, here we go.
They chop a lot more than we do in the U.S.
Smile, Braden.
Yeah, they're incredible axemen, but yeah, nobody's unbeatable.
How much pressure is Team USA under now, having watched what Team Poland did?
Everybody has stepped it up to another level. I think I beat you in the stock saw, though.
If everything goes right and the wood is good,
you know, if there's one team to do it, I think we're the team to do it.
It's time to do or die.
The new Function Active boots offer chainsaw users a comfortable, waterproof and durable boot Class 1 cut protection. Available in sizes 5 to 13.5, the Function Active boots have a comfortable wide fit and plenty of padding for greater comfort. Boots with Chainsaw Class 1 cut protection contain the same protective material found in chainsaw trousers on the front portion of the boot. The construction of a Function Active boot combines hard-wearing suede leather and a waterproof and breathable membrane. The material of the sole extends around the boot, as well as over the toe for additional durability and resistance to wear. Thanks to the deep 5mm tread, the Function Active boot provides excellent grip, even in wet and muddy work environments. The specially designed sole centre bar aims to increase stability when treading on branches or small trunks. The height of the boot provides extra stability and support when walking on challenging terrain, protecting the wearer's ankles. The midsole features a steel layer, increasing the boot's puncture resistance. This, along with the steel toe cap, ensures the boot complies with Protection Class S3. The large tab at the rear and the tongue help make taking the boot on and off easier, even when wearing gloves. Find out more about the Function Active chainsaw boots, visit stihl.co.uk or your nearest STIHL approved dealer.
So there we see the action and activity on the stage, and the athletes again setting things up. On the very left-hand side, on stand number 1, you see Pierre Puybaret getting ready and placing his stuff on stand number 2. We'll have Alex Maurice. That's going to be his block. Stand number 3 will belong to Loïc Voisin. And, of course, stand number 4 will then belong to Adrien Corteau. And the heats will look like this: Pierre Puybaret going up against Loïc Voisin and Alex Maurice going up against Adrien Corteau. And there you can see those set screws, very, very long, very secure, large head screws, making sure that top block is secured in place. And yeah, almost ready to go for these last 2 heats in springboard. And again, these last 2 heats are going to be a tell-all for the positioning in the overall standings. Pierre Puybaret, as always, has been super consistent. Maybe one of the events so far where he has been super strong, that was stock saw. He dropped down in the rankings a little bit there, but at the moment he has 43 points and is still yet to go. Anthony Prieur, meanwhile, has 52 points and is atop the live ranking with Cyril Marchal. And then you can see there Pierre Puybaret, who has yet to cut in the springboard, is sitting there in 3rd place. So he's in a good, solid position. He just needs to get a time in the books. It doesn't need to be blisteringly fast, but he's got a pretty good personal best time in under a minute, 55.07 seconds. So that could be good for him now. Loïc Voisin, he is at 2:02.95 for his personal best time. But what we've seen from this young man today is that where we expected him to do well, he really did well. And I expect him to have a very, very good springboard here, because we know that he's been working hard and making sure that he is actually where he needs to be able to compete with the big boys. And this is the one discipline that has sort of eluded him in the past, and the one discipline where he is going to be taking as much time as possible to make sure that he is good to go. A perfect storm. 4-hit pocket board in, up. 4-hit pocket board in, up, and cut quick. We saw that not too long ago.
Athletes ready.
Stand to
where
your
Walt
timber.
Page pulled it off during the
3,
2023
2,
Pro
1,
Championships
go.
in the USA. And now we've got action on stage. Oh, great 4-hit pocket there by Pierre Puybaret. It took about 6-7 drivers for Loïc Voisin to get in there, and now he is up on his board. Pierre Puybaret, a bit of a sticky axe there. Another good 4-hit pocket, perhaps 5. I might have miscounted on that one. But Pierre is on top at 24 seconds. So if he can have a good standing block chop, we may see a good time for Puybaret. Loïc Voisin now up on his second board, and that board is looking very good. So this is a huge opportunity for Loïc Voisin, maybe not to beat Pierre Puybaret, but to obliterate his previous personal best. Meanwhile, Puybaret deep on that first side. We may see him switching over to that awkward angle fairly quickly here. Good cuts from Loïc Voisin, though. Puybaret on that second side now. I don't think it's going to be under a minute. Nope, it's not going to be, but he is just shattering that board up top. Loïc Voisin onto that second side now, and 1 or 2 hits should do it, and he's got it! 108.40. Hopefully, he does not get tagged for wrenching that block off, which would mean a DQ, but it looked okay to me from my perspective here. But that is a great time for Loïc. Very, very fast. I feel like these are going to be good cuts for both guys, though. No problems at all.
Okay. Both cuts are good.
There you go. So personal best by Loïc Voisin. The only other PB so far is Anthony Prieur, and that is fantastic. But what a great run by Pierre Puybaret. The big man making it cat-like up onto that first board and then onto the second board. 2 4-hit pockets, so it really for him came down to that top block and just getting through there as quickly as possible. Really nice run, and I'm proud to say that is a great run from Loïc Voisin. I called it. We know that he's been working on it, and he'll only get better at this discipline here. You can see he got through there pretty deep. Risky, but it worked for him. Okay, last heat in springboard, heat number 4. Alex Maurice up against Adrien Courteau. And so far, Pierre Puybaret with a 1:02.47 with the time to beat. Loïc Voisin in a solid second place there in the heat, and that means right now with 50 points, 9 points back of Puybaret, he holds down the second place in the overall rankings, but we still have to see Alex up against Adrien here. And the crowd seems to be increasing as the day goes on. They're all kind of gathering, looking forward to that gas head moment at the end, that loud hot saw that's coming up to finish out our competition with our final 6 athletes. Big shout out to our 2 camera operators out there. The view from Felix's cam right now, and Manu in the background, who has been taking care of stand 3 and 4, as they have given us some great images throughout the day. So Alex Maurice, we'll look for some improvement from him as well. The advantage for Alex is he is light. So if he can set those pockets quickly and get up onto those boards, there's less risk of his weight pushing him out of the stand position up high. And once he's chopping, he is very, very good. Here we go.
1, go!
4-hit pocket by Alex Maurice. That first one is looking a little bit ugly as that board is sagging ever so slightly. Adrien Courteau, his board is a little bit saggy as well, but Alex Maurice has got himself an excellent second board with 4 hits there, and now he's going to get going on that top block. Adrien Courteau struggling to hold position on that very, very saggy board, and hopefully that second board will go in and lock and get good purchase, but he's struggling to find the line now, and he's still trying to get it locked into place. He doesn't like it. He's going to try and recut. Meanwhile, Alex Maurice on the second side here, opting to go traditional standing block style as he is on that second side. We may see, oh, that's a fantastic personal best from Alex Maurice, 46.76, killing his previous time by a good 13, 14 seconds. And Adrien Courteau now passing the minute mark, but he's got an incredibly saggy board there. He's got to be careful, and you can see he's in close to the stump and shoulder cutting, and that board seems to be going down and down and down, and he may have to reset that board. And again, it's that shoulder cutting. It kills your time. It kills your power. So many problems when you're in this position. You got to choke up on the axe handle. You got to move closer to the stand. And everything just goes a little bit pear-shaped here. And all those bouncy movements on that springboard just create more chances that it will slip out. And now he's got to switch to that other side and get through there. Incredibly, he's got a decent time given the situation that he's in with a 1.4693. Adrien Courteau, wow, not bad. I mean, slower than his personal best by only about 30 seconds, but he is sitting there in 5th place. He's middle of the pack here in this group. Very, very well done, and kudos to him for not giving up and fighting through that. But what a time by Alex Maurice. That should put him atop the overall rankings. Very, very nice cut by Alex Maurice, and not far off the season's best either of 41.51 seconds. 4-hit pocket for Alex Maurice. Adrien Courteau struggled on that first one. It also looked like that first pocket wasn't super hot for Alex, but he didn't care. That second pocket is where it counted. Another 4-hit pocket on number 2, and he got up there and just started to go to work. Now, he decided not to go super deep on the top block and just opted to go traditional standing block chop style and cut up down on the second side, and clearly it worked for him with a fantastic time of 46.44. So here we go with the springboard results. Alex Maurice, fastest guy with a bullet. Pierre Puybaret in second position. Loïc Voinson in third. Top 3 positions are also what we're going to see in the overall standings, I believe. We'll take a look at the overall standings here in a second. And what's key is you need to be in those top 6 positions after the springboard in order to move on to our hot saw. For Julian Meyer, unfortunately, that DQ is going to cost him, and we will see him eliminated from competition here today. Now let's take a look at the springboard results as they mix in with the overall results. So Maurice now takes over the top position by 2 points. Puybaret moves down a spot to second, and Loïc Voinson holds on to that third. No change there. Anthony Prieur sits in 4th place. Adrien Courteau in 5th, and Cyril Marchal rounds out the top 6. Unfortunately for Christophe Trincard and Julien Meyer, we will see them eliminated from competition. So now we move on to the hot saw with our top 6 athletes, and the hot saw is what some people call the maker or breaker. Not this guy, but hey, the hot saw is what's coming up next. 6 athletes moving into that hot saw position. We're going to see Cyril Marchal, and it is in reverse order of their standings at the moment as they move into this. So Cyril Marchal, then Adrien Courteau, then we'll have Anthony Prieur, followed by Loïc Voinson, then Pierre Puybaret, and Alex Maurice. Now the advantage for the top 3 guys is they get to watch the other 3 guys cut and see how well or poorly they did, which then either increases or decreases the pressure on the top 3 guys. So that is the advantage of coming into this final discipline with a little bit of better points and position. So let's take a look at the tool and discipline for our final one of the day.
These custom handmade race-tuned machines are built for maximum power and precision and to cut the wood as fast as possible in a competition. They are built with a 60 to 80 horsepower single-cylinder two-stroke engine, often taken from a snowmobile or high-powered motorbike. The hot saw can weigh up to 30 kilograms and its chain rotates at over 250 kilometers an hour. The cost of a competition hot saw used in STIHL Timbersports is upward of 6,000 euros. Hot saw. For the hot saw, power saws are called into action and the athletes have a space of 15 centimeters to cut 3 complete discs off a 46 centimeter thick wooden block. Jumping the start or cutting over the line will result in a disqualification.
Well, there you see some of the, or one of the hot saws here. Anthony Pierre cuddling his hot saw up and getting ready to head over to the stage. These are incredibly dangerous machines, race-tuned. The two types of motors that we traditionally see in the hot saw are Wankel and Rotax, and you can tell the difference between the two motors by the sound that they make. The Rotax, you'll generally hear a little bit more high-pitched, a little bit more like a two-stroke motorcycle. The Wankel motor is a little bit more throaty. You have a deeper growl. You'll hear this very loud popping sound. And if you're a gas head, this is absolutely your discipline. It is our final discipline of the day, the last discipline to determine who is our French champion. The realistic situation here is it's among 3 guys. The possibility is Loïc Vincent, Pierre Puybaret, or Alex Maurice. The difference in points, Alex has 59 points, Pierre Puybaret 57 points, and Loïc Vincent 48 points. Now, Anthony Pierre is in the mix with 46 points. However, it would require that all 3 of the top guys DQ or come dead last, and Anthony Pierre wins the hot saw with the fastest cut of the day in order for him to have a chance at the podium. So it is about the math, really, at this point. The top 3 guys have an opportunity here. But again, these machines are also finicky. And if they don't want to operate for you, they will not operate for you. So it is really about the maker or breaker. And let's take a look at what that's all about.
This is the one and only discipline where the athletes are alone on stage.
Yeah, probably the most important event, but yeah, also the most frustrating.
These saws are so incredibly powerful and dangerous.
Usually the hot saw is the slider. Hot saw, hot saw.
Like I can't describe to you when we're out there under pressure.
Starts well, first disc looks solid, cut is good.
You know, you're always ending the competition on a hot saw, so you know where you're going to be at when you finish. So you're either at a real big high or just is what it is.
Nice clean cuts, easy, relaxed.
Hot saw is a love-hate for me. I honestly don't get that much enjoyment out of it. I'm not a motorhead. I swallow my pills and eat it.
Once the competition comes, anything can happen. Oh no, a false start by Sterling Hart. What a disaster.
Yeah, it was a disappointment for me. Happens though, it's part of competing.
I saw there's 3 good discs there, but then let that nose come right up underneath the cross over the line.
Unfortunately, a disqualification.
It all relies on the hot saw.
It went good up until the hot saw. I disqualified, I cut across the line. Yeah, there was a bit of interference, I feel like, in a big pressure situation, you know.
What are you taking away from this event? Oh, probably last place.
I don't know, headache, shit dazu. What else do you want?
If you have bad luck or if you did wrong, it's part, just your experience.
Oh my goodness. What an absolute disaster. The chain came off.
I was not disappointed because everybody see that I can be with the guys in front.
It's a bit of a disaster, so it was just operator error, and I didn't perform as well as I would have liked to.
Nice safe cut.
Oh no! Oh no!
Never prepared for that situation, but luckily I started and I got 3 wheels and now I'm the world champion.
Yeah, it's the make or break event, you know.
I think you love it and you hate it.
Das ist eigentlich immer ein geiles Ding. Ich schneide immer sehr sicher.
Super quick away from the wood.
Every competitor in 30 timber sports countries around the world is watching on the live stream saying, I cannot believe what I just saw.
Let's try to make 3 good cuts and no disqualification.
The hot saw is where it's all one, so that's the best event.
Well, time to warm up these beasts, and that is what we're seeing backstage right now. You'll also see on the stage these shields that they put up there, Lexan shields, to protect the athletes that are competing on the other side of the stage, as well as the staff and camera people that are on the stage, because if any part of this saw or chain flies away from that saw at 250 kilometers an hour, it can be devastating. And that is why this is one of the most difficult and dangerous disciplines by the sheer weight. And you can see this is a strong man carrying that saw, and it looks like he really is struggling a little bit to make sure that it stays in position. These are heavy, heavy machines. 35 kilograms of angry, wanting to run away from you tool. And if you let it get away from you, it will bite you in the butt every single time. It's got to start hot, run hot, and cut clean. And when you're trying to lift this machine and control it through 3 good cuts on a 15 centimeter wide piece of that block, it is quite challenging. And the best in the world can do it quickly, but sometimes even the best in the world have a moment where it just does not want to cooperate. So we'll get our first heat up in about 3.5 minutes time, and that will be Cyril Marchal, who we just saw carrying his saw over to the stage side, going up against Adrien Courteau. Now, as you saw in the maker or breaker discipline or clip, usually it's only one athlete on stage. That is at the International World Championships there, where you have one athlete on stage. For the National Championships, we do have 2 athletes on stage, so that's 2 extremely loud saws on stage for the heats. And there you see Pierre Puybaret with the last-minute adjustments and warm-ups to his saw. And the difference here between the stock saw and the hot saw, the stock saw actually runs before the athlete picks it up and starts their cut. In the hot saw, the saw needs to be warmed up, then turned off, and then started before the cut. So yeah, there's a lot of things that have to happen exactly right for this discipline to go. And you can see the world record, 4.28 seconds. That belongs to Nate Hodges. Oh, excuse me. No, it is Nate Hodges from the USA at the Pro semifinals from 2025. That is yet to be broken. Previous record holder was Danny Martin, and he held that for a short while as well. But with each improvement and the training level that these guys have, we're seeing quicker and quicker times. And you know, you never know. At the World Championships, we may see another world record go by the wayside. It's always nice to see that. And our first 2 athletes coming up on stage for hot saw heat number 1, Cyril Marchal and Adrien Courteau.
Je pense avoir tout dit sur cette discipline
See Cyril taking exceptional time to make sure that he sets his guide markers with that grease pen or that grease marker so that he sees his lines exactly where he wants to place that saw.
Warm up your saws.
And it's more so important here in this discipline. Adrien Courteau, last sets for his pull start and the security line.
30 seconds.
And for experienced operators, they'll know exactly where they want to put that saw, how far away from the block outside, how far away that handle should be from the block, and where their feet are going to be. And Cyril Marchal, renowned for wearing golf shoes for this discipline.
Athletes, ready.
Stand to your timber. 3,
go.
2, 1,
Don't
go.
blink. Oh, very nice cut by Cyril Marchal. 6.61 seconds. Adrien Courteau with a 7.40. So right now, Cyril Marchal is happy with that cut and a great time for him. And after adjustment, it actually got a little bit better. 6.48 and a 7.18 for Adrien Courteau. Quick check of the line by Bart Janssen to make sure the cuts are fair. Hopefully, he's good. The cookie broke on impact with the ground, but it looks like we're okay.
Okay. Both cuts are good.
So, good start to our final discipline in rounds number 3 here. Cyril Marchal with a great time. That is going to apply quite a significant amount of pressure on the rest of the guys. But look at that transition to cookie number 2. So thin, beautiful third cut. And here, Adrien Courteau got into it. No hesitation on that upcut. And a nice transition to cut number 3. Came close to the line, but he was good. 3 on the deck for both of these guys, and an excellent cut by Cyril Marchal. That's experience for you there, folks. Okay, Anthony Prieur up against Loïc Voinson. So far today, Loïc has been very impressive. It's clear he's been training. It's clear he's been working on every single aspect of his sport. Did he do enough to make sure his hot saw was on point? We will find out in this next heat between Anthony Prieur and Loïc Voinson. Look for Anthony in stand 1 on the left-hand side of your stage and Loïc Voinson on stand 2 on the right-hand side. So again, out come the grease markers to make sure those lines are set for their guidance.
Hey, warm up your saws.
Okay, Anthony Prieur's saw looks good. He got that started right away. No drama at all. Same thing for Loïc Voinson. Took him a long time to get there, though, and obviously not feeling overly under pressure as those last bits of performance setting things in place. You can see all of the carbon fiber aspects of that saw to try and reduce as much weight as possible. Both guys using that Rotax motor, I believe. Could be that it's a Wankel motor for Loic Vincent. Chain oil dripping all over the place. Here we go.
Athletes, ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Oh no! It was a beautiful start by Loic Vincent. 2 cookies on the deck, absolutely fantastic. And on that third cookie, he came in a little bit hot and the chain came off. That is a bummer. That means no 3 cookies, a DQ. And that is also going to be a DQ on the side of Anthony Prière. So that means 0 points for either of these guys with a cut line. Oh my goodness. What a turn of events for Loic Vincent, though. He started so beautifully and got a little bit wild on that third cut.
Unfortunately, both cuts are DQ'd. Here it cut the line, and here didn't finish.
Oh, gutted for Loic. He's been so good all day long. And one little scrub over from the saw. Watch this here. Beautiful entry into the cut. Transition was absolutely fantastic. Thin to win. Watch what happens here. Got in a bit too hot at an angle, and that chain came off. Oh, that is trouble. And here by Anthony, 2 good cookies, but watch this third one. He swung it way over, had angle down, and he knew it right away. He knew it right away. You could see him shaking his head. 2 guys that were looking great. Unfortunately, it goes by the wayside as DQs. And now, Pierre Puybaret up against Alex Maurice. Puybaret, the holder of the national record. Alex Maurice not that far off with a personal best of 6:05. So really, it's going to come down to the heat between these 2 guys right now. Alex Maurice has 59 points. Pierre Puybaret has 57 points. Cyril Marchal has 58 points, but he's cut already. So this is open season. Anything still to play for here between Puybaret and Maurice. Maurice needs a good cut. If he can be faster than Puybaret, he should win this one. If Puybaret is faster than Maurice, then he will take it. So really, this is about these 2 guys racing each other to the bottom of those cuts and making sure nothing goes pear-shaped for them. So in other words, no pressure at all.
Hey, warm up your shows.
Puybaret saw starts flawlessly. He knows that machine inside and out. Alex Maurice's went as well. No problems there for him. So now it's reset time and our last heat of the day.
Seconds.
1 point separates first and second. 1 point separates second and third. Adrien Courtois tied right now with Pierre Puybaret, but the cut from Puybaret still to come. Alex Maurice has to have a phenomenal cut in order to beat Puybaret, who has been consistent and solid all day long.
Athletes, ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Oh no! A false start there. Not a false start, but a not start for Alex Maurice. And Puybaret with a solid 7-1-9. Does he have 3 cookies on the deck? Looks like he is fine with the cuts. Alex Maurice is going to have a very slow time, though, and that is going to be a huge problem for Maurice because that means he is going to end up in second place here, and Puybaret will take the win. No cut line, 3 complete cookies on the deck, and it was a non-start for Alex Maurice's saw. That is not what he wanted to have, unfortunately for him. That means he's going to be pushed down into second place. And fourth place in the hot saw means a second place overall in the overall rankings, and that means Pierre Puybaret once again is the French champion. Unbelievable. Let's watch this again. Perfect start. Nice entry into the block. Barely any swing, and the transition, that last cookie a bit bigger, but it was as good as it could be. Alex Maurice, it took him a while to get started, and then when he got it started, he had clean cuts, but unfortunately, it was a little bit too little too late after a non-start to get the thing going. Oh man, gutted for Alex Maurice, but Cyril Marchal with the fastest time of the day in hot saw. Pierre Puybaret right behind him with a 7:13. Adrien Corteau with a 7:18. Unfortunately for Maurice, a 17.25 has him in fourth place, and Loic Voinsant gutted for the young man with a DQ, along with Anthony Prieur, also a DQ in that one heat between the two of them. So no points for either of those guys there. In the overall standings, the final results, we see Pierre Puybaret on top once again with 72 points, but only 4 points back is Alex Maurice. He had a solid day. It was just the hot saw that broke his heart today. And Cyril Marchal will be on that podium in third place in the bronze medal position. So the maker or breaker really is apt in this particular case for the hot saw, with Alexander Maurice not getting his saw started for that final heat. All he really needed was a nice clean cut with 3 cookies on the deck, and he would have had that top spot. But it was between those two guys, Pierre Puybaret and Alex Maurice, as it has been a lot the last few years. Loic Voinsant, as I mentioned, gutted for the young man. He had such a great day. Improvements across the board, and the hot saw was looking great. A little bit of an angle on his last cut and the chain coming off, and that's a tough one for him. Now, the European ranking. This is important here because it is the top 8 athletes that will be invited to or be qualified for the World Championship, the individual World Championship. And Emil Hansen at the moment leading the European ranking. Glenn Pendleton from the Great Britain in second place, and Pierre Puybaret, by virtue of today's activity, is sitting in third place there. So we'll for sure see those 3 guys. We still do have a couple of events coming our way, and there will probably be some changes in the European ranking as more nations have their national championships toward the end of the season. So there's still a lot of action coming your way. Maybe we'll have a chance to look at the other events that are coming up for Livestream. It doesn't look like it. We're going to get right into our awards ceremony here. So what we'll do is we'll bring up all the athletes from 12th position up until the top 3, and then do the awards ceremony with our top 3 athletes, and of course the all-important champagne shower, which is always fun to watch. As you saw from the European ranking list earlier on, Emil Hansen won the Nordic Championships yesterday, so that puts him atop the European ranking for the moment. That may change, may stay the same, depends on how the other nations jump into their national championships as we close out the season. Okay. Final preparations, and we will get going with the awards ceremony here. So bringing up the athletes, all the athletes will come up on stage from position 12 to position 4, and then we will bring our top 3 athletes up on stage. And of course, our dignitaries on stage. Let's bring up number 12, Dominic Fuchs. So next up in position number 11, Romuald Puck. And that fantastic cowboy hat. I wonder if it's a custom-made cowboy hat. I like it. It's great style. One event, just one discipline I want to see him do in the cowboy hat, though. All right, there we go. The big man, Pierre-Louis Poisson, in 10th position today. And then in 9th position, Elie Pageant. All right, next up, number 8, Julien Meyer. Seventh place. He had a pretty solid day today. We saw some flashes from him. We have Christophe Trinca. So this is a guy that we may see good things from down the road. Unfortunately for Anthony Prière, 6th place is what he's going to have to live with after a DQ in that hot saw, cut over the line. He's been solid and pretty consistent throughout the day, though, and he'll definitely take that to the bank and learn from it. All right, 5th place. We've seen him on the podium before. He's been ever so close to that top spot on numerous occasions. Today, unfortunately not. Loïc Voisin, he's been fantastic, about the most consistent throughout the day, and just a DQ in the hot saw made the difference. Next up, we have number 4, Adrien Courteau. He had a good cut in the hot saw, sitting him in 3rd place in that discipline and 4th place overall. And now we get to our podium positions. The bronze medal, by virtue of the fastest cut in the hot saw, goes to Cyril Marchal. And he's happy about that. He's celebrating this one, and so he should. Bronze medal for Cyril Marchal, a great job. And he showed that his experience plays a huge role in getting that 3rd position on the podium. Next up, he was so close, but a non-start on his hot saw meant that he has to settle for 2nd place. Silver medal goes to Alexandre Maurice. And of course, handshakes across the line. And now our gold medalist and the man who will represent France at the individual world championships. Incredibly consistent, 10-time national champion now. None other than the one and only Pierre Puybaret. Started strong with the underhand chop. Stock saw was a bit of a hiccup for him. Standing block and single buck were solid. Springboard, he was also very good, getting 2nd place there. And the hot saw, of course, 2nd fastest, and that was enough to put him atop the podium one more time. And all these guys are used to seeing Pierre Puybaret in that top spot as well. And they push hard to try and get up there with him. But the consistency and the power and the strength of that man, hard to beat. So there you have it, folks. Our podium. Third place, Cyril Marchal. Second place, Alexandre Maurice. And first place goes to Pierre Puybaret. Everybody steps forward for one last picture. And now you got to be careful, because once that champagne comes out, it is a dog and pony show of wetness on stage. And you'll see a lot of guys make a run for the sidelines. Hopefully we'll have a champagne shower. I don't see any bottles out there yet. Come on, folks, get the bubbly. Aw, I wanted to see a champagne shower. Come on. All right, well, it was a great event, and you see the 12 best timber sports athletes from France on stage there today. That is absolutely fantastic. It was really, really fun to watch. And of course, we saw some huge improvements from Loic Voinsant. I felt really bad for the kid in that hot saw. A small angle just pushed that chain off. Otherwise, I think we may have seen Loic on that podium. But a great job by Cyril Marchal, Alexandre Maurice, and of course, the number one guy in France, Pierre Puybaret, who we will see, at the end of the year on October 31st at the Individual World Championships. Lots more action coming up this season, so we hope you guys will tune in and enjoy a ton of STIHL Timber Sports action for the remainder of the season. And of course, don't forget September 13th, we have the European Trophy coming your way from Poland. It is going to be super, super fun in that format. It's always action straight out the box. So from my side, thank you very much for joining us, and see you next time, everybody. Ciao.